Germany was built on steel. Today, roughly 28 million metric tons of crude steel is produced in the country, with roughly 1 million of that going to the United States annually. But increased U.S. import tariffs will likely deal a big blow to those exports, as well as consumers in the U.S. Germany's Benteler Steel produces around 650,000 tons of steel per year, with some going to their U.S. plant in Louisiana. While the additional tariffs are aimed at reducing America's dependence on imports, Benteler says this will take time.
Wenn Sie sehen, die USA importiert bis zu 21 Millionen.
If you consider that the USA imports up to 21 million tons of steel, it won't be possible to produce these 21 million tons in the USA because the capacity simply doesn't exist. We are already seeing that prices in the US are rising after the introduction of tariffs, and this of course means that, in the end, taken together, the tariffs are more likely to hit the end consumers in the US.
Die Endverbraucher treffen werden in den Preisen, die Produkte dann später ausmachen.
In 2023, the EU exported some 4 million metric tons, roughly 20% of its crude steel exports, to the U.S. Steel is also exported indirectly, with their metal used in machinery, tools, and other industrial products.
While Europe's steel industry is bound to feel the heat of the increased tariffs, so too are the bloc's aluminum producers, also now subject to 50% import tariffs, which some say could hit U.S. consumers more directly.
The U.S. is far more reliant on aluminum imports, with roughly half of the country's demand coming from overseas. Around 5.5% of that comes from the EU. And with aluminum used in many consumer goods, ranging from cars to drink cans and packaging, cost hikes are likely to be passed down directly to the consumer.
Yeah, definitely. The overall U.S. capacity is not big enough to fulfill the American demand for all the goods produced in the United States. So at the end of the day, the consumer needs to pay the tariffs, the American consumer, not the European one.
And there are other concerns for European businesses, a potential oversupply on the continent as other exporting nations search for alternative markets.
These redirected products will end up in the European market and put more pressure in a very intense situation, because we still are facing business cycle challenges. The automotive industry in Europe is struggling, building and construction in Germany is struggling. So this is just another pressure point onto the European and the German, in particular, aluminium industry.
Both industries are calling for a clear and united response from the European Union, along with potential mitigating measures, such as limiting the export of aluminum scrap to the U.S., which is not subject to import tariffs. Scrap is in high demand because it is significantly more energy efficient, greener, and cheaper. Europeans say limiting its exports will protect domestic aluminum producers. Natalie, Carney, CGTN in Munich.